Get ready for your favorite entertainment, movie, TV show, music recap show. ENT. Starring the gang, Clint and Curtis. What is happening, Curtis? Curtis coming to you from Houston, Texas. Clint coming to you from Austin, Texas. And we're here to talk about all my favorite stuff. Thank you for tuning in to Clint Likes Everything. That's right. Why do we have the channel named that? Well, it's because I like all kinds of stuff. I like movies. I like TV shows. I like streaming. I like video games. I like all that. And I don't want to settle on one topic. So why don't we just be as vague as possible and talk about everything? Woo! So, yeah. How you doing, Curtis?
I'm doing very well. It is Friday, Clint. We are back in the real world, and I have to work again. So Friday holds a lot more weight than it used to.
Yeah, Friday is not as fun as it used to be, huh?
Yeah. No, it's more fun now. Just the rest of the week's not as fun.
What about Friday when you just had to get up and not do anything? You didn't have to go to work. That's
okay.
more
Those
fun.
were more fun, but the Friday night wasn't as much fun. Now it's you appreciate Friday night so much more.
You savor your Fridays.
Yes, indeed.
I see. Well, man, we got a crazy show. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Bakertown in the chat. And we got Bobby. What's up, Bobby?
Welcome, lovely lady.
Bakertown. Who's that Bakertown fella? I don't know.
Some geek.
It's weird. It's so weird, man. Lots of news. Before we get into all the good stuff, guys, do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up if you can. And if you're enjoying this show, subscribe to the channel. If you hit that notification bell, we'll send you a reminder whenever we go on live or whenever we have a new video out. If you want to help support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/ClintLikesEverything. If you can't remember that, there's a link in the description. And lastly, if there's something you want us to talk about on the show, message me on social media. I'm the OG Clint Baker on all my socials, but you can find all this information in the description for this video. Anyway, let's get to it.
And I wanted to say something on that.
Yeah.
We've grown a lot thanks to you guys. Thank you so much. We're at 350 right now subscribers. If we get to 500 at the end of the year, I don't know what we're going to do. We need to figure out something we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if y'all can help us get to 500 by the end of the year, we're going to do something.
Curtis will take his pants off.
I'll do that right now. I don't know. That's nothing big.
Yeah, let's get to 1,000.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah. That'd be even better.
With the YouTube achievements. 400 is a big number because at 400 you can start sending out community posts, which is pretty cool, which is interesting. So basically, news of anything that's going on. That's pretty cool. Then
that would be really cool. That would help us. Y'all could help us get versus picks in there. Like we could send all that stuff out. And you could help us with that.
Yes, very cool. And tonight we've got an interesting show planned. We're doing Grease versus Crybaby. Two crazy musicals, lots of hair grease, and a good time. Lots of good greaser music happening. And I just spent yesterday doing recording Rockin' Robin in the studio here. Which is fun. I'm doing a little project on the side, so that's pretty cool. And I had to get a recorder flute.
An actual recorder?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's not how you do it. Nope, that's wrong hand. There we go. Now we're talking. Yeah, I didn't learn how to play it, but I got one.
Well, you learned that song, whatever that.
Yeah,
that
it's the same. It's the same fingerings as a saxophone. I played saxophone in high school, so once we get to that part, I still got a lot of claps and singing and all kinds of things to add to that. Snaps and yeah. All right, well, let's get into some fun stuff. Weird news. Weird news. What? What in the world happened to Richard Simmons? What happened? There he is. Hey!
There's my man.
Yeah, apparently, I didn't know about this, but apparently he went off the grid, and that's the weird news story of the day. Give us a brief what you told me briefly, because we got a lot of stuff to cover. But let's talk about that real quick. What happened to him?
Real
Where'd he
quick.
go?
Well, Richard Simmons is one of my favorite people. He's just a beautiful, loving person. And it was not too long ago. I was like, I haven't seen or anything about him in a long time, and I hadn't realized there's a TMZ thing on Hulu talking about where the disappearance of Richard Simmons, and there are all of these theories out there. Some people think that his housekeeper is holding him hostage. Some people think that like all this other stuff is going on, but essentially, he just retired because Bobby, he's getting old, and he's a fitness guru kind of guy and this high energy guy, and he didn't want people to see old Richard Simmons, old sad Richard Simmons. He wanted to stay the way you remember him, and he's a beautiful, loving person. And he did put out a thing on Facebook today or yesterday saying thank you to all of his fans for all the support. But yeah, nothing. Go ahead and watch the TMZ thing because it is fun, but nothing nefarious in
Nothing bad happened. Okay.
Yeah, he's old and he wants to retire and he wants to go out on top. So good for him. I love you, Richard Simmons.
Yeah, I like that. Let's do the air horn for Richard Simmons. Yeah. That's weird. Yeah, I heard somebody talking about it. Like, yeah, blah blah blah. Like wondering what happened to Richard Simmons, and I go, what the hell happened to Richard Simmons? What do you mean? And so.
Like it hurt your heart a little bit if like did something bad happen to Richard? Like
yeah,
he's
Richard Simmons is
great
badass.
Person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of. I'll never forget when Tom Petty passed away.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he's like just in interviews, and every time you see him, Tom Petty would light up the room. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and Richard Simmons is one of those people.
Right.
And I'm not. He's not dead yet. I'm, like we all go. He's fine. He just wanted to stay out of the public spotlight. But I'll never forget. Like Tom Petty's one of those people too. That's just like, man, I love Tom Petty. Just a good dude. Just picture him with a giant hat on, and anyway, moving on. Let's get out of this weird news and move on to some interesting DC news. Oh yeah, DC. It's looking like this isn't in the bag yet, but it's looking like we might have our Kevin Feige, and yeah, that's right. What?
Interesting.
Yeah, and this guy, you're like, who the hell is this guy? His name is Danny Lin. This guy. The new heads of Warner Brothers Discovery has made no secret of their desire to find someone for DC Comics, what Kevin Feige is for Marvel. The guy who has the overall vision for its entire comic book universe and who oversees everything. Okay, yeah, we know all about that. We talk about that all the time. Hollywood Reporter says Danny Lin is in talks to be the guy in charge of all things DC at Warner Brothers. Lin is a very successful producer behind such movies as Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes and Warner Brothers' popular Lego movies. And its spinoff, Lego Batman, and Lego Ninjago movie. Per the report, if Lin gets a job, this role as head of DC Movies would bypass 3 separate division heads. Warner Brothers Pictures heads, Michael DeLuca, Pam Abdi, and HBO Max chief Casey Blois. That means he doesn't have to answer to those fools, who are normally overseeing DC. Like Hamada wasn't able to do much because he had to answer to Toby Emmerich and all these people, and you have all these different cooks in the kitchen making decisions what benefits their well, this will benefit my streaming thing. Well, what about the movies? Different people have different agendas and stuff. This guy didn't have to answer to any of those guys. He handles the DC stuff and just says, hey, you're going to put that out. You put that out. Thanks. This is what we made. Go sell it for me. But he's not hired yet. My current The current head of DC Films, Walter Hamada, would reportedly transition out of the role. According to early reports, Hamada was ready to leave his job immediately after Warner Brothers decided to shelve Batgirl movie deep into production rather than premiere it on HBO Max as originally planned. The search for a new chief of DC adaptation comes as the Warner Brothers Discovery merger has resulted in total upheaval for the company's slate of superhero movies and shows. Projects like Batgirl and Strange Adventures have been shelved completely. Others like Batman, Caped Crusader are no longer going to HBO Max and will instead need to find a new home. Amidst all of this, Warner Brothers Discovery has claimed that there is going to be a team with a 10-year plan focusing on DC, which raises the question, what was the plan before now? I don't know, but hi, Batgirl, or Catwoman. Oh, this is a whole nother story. Okay, yeah, that's it. Like, let's go back to Halle Berry. So yeah, interesting news. They might have their guy. This guy, he's used to work under Alan Horn. Alan Horn is the guy that's advising David Zaslav right now, which is, I think, is smart. He's like, hey, I'm going to get one of the top executives who's shepherded all kinds of greatness, and this guy is vouching for this guy because he worked under him, and this guy's a real up and comer, and actually has a really successful production studio on the side too of his own. So it'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds, what's going to happen. But maybe we found our guy, maybe we didn't. Any thoughts? I'm going to pull up Danny Lynn's IMDb real quick.
Yeah, I loved all the Lego movies and stuff, but just the fact that they've got a guy, because that's the thing. Before all of this, whenever they'd be talking about, oh, the new CEO at WB and the new CEO, like, and they're going to be the savior and they're going to save the films and all this stuff like that, it doesn't work like that. These guys aren't like a good manager, a good CEO, and I'm not a CEO, but I've been a manager before. A good manager puts people in place to do what they need to do, that know what they're doing. But with no one person in charge of it, like it's just distribution of blame. In the past, it's been this like, well, the movies aren't doing well or something's wrong, and it's like, well, it's not me, it's HBO Max. Well, it's not HBO Max, it's WB. Well, it's not WB, it's DC. You got this one guy, he's in charge of his content. If he fails, you fire him and you get a new guy. Like that's, there's a consequences, for success and failure. But and when we have that now, that's gonna be a good thing regardless. I just imagine the interview though, like, all right, Mr. Lynn, what position are you applying for? And he's like, Kevin Feige. Like, wait. Huh? I'm sorry, I'm applying for Kevin Feige. WB's Kevin Feige. So
I want to be. There we go.
And I think it is good that he already has a relationship with Horn. Like it sounds like a good fit. I honestly, I hope Hamada writes a book because I would love to hear about his time there. Yeah, I mean that's got to be a nightmare. So he's probably not gonna, because of industry stuff. But like, this poor guy, like he was just made out to be this villain, and it's just he just got his legs chopped off at every go, and couldn't really, make that thing run.
Yeah, and you had like Warner Brothers, then you had like Warner Brothers Pictures, then you got HBO, and then HBO Max, and you have all these just different people. And then the AT&T people appear. It's like all it's all screwed up.
HBO Max, but not HBO Go, but AT&T, who owns and it's like he's like, I just want to can I just make a good movie? And like, can we do this?
Then he's getting death threats too, and all kinds of stuff.
I know. This poor guy, man.
Producer's got 55 credits, I see here. For The Culture, Johnny Quest, Settlers of Catan, Lethal Weapon 5, woo! Sherlock Holmes 3, Spooked, Inspector Gadget, Aladdin 2, Lilo and Stitch, Walker, Independence TV series, Avatar, The Last Airbender TV series, Dear David, Haunted Mansion, Archie, the Lego Batman movie, The Tempest, Easter Sunday, Walker, The Pink Panther, Into the Dust, Godzilla vs. Kong, executive producer. let's see here. Lost and Found, Into the Fire, The Two Popes, a Godzilla King of the Monsters, executive producer, Aladdin, Lethal Weapon TV show, Lego Movie, Death Note, Lego Batman, The Master, Forever, Lego Movie, blah, 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 blah. Gangster Squad, Poe, Sherlock Holmes. Got a lot of stuff. And,
Well, go ahead.
I don't know if he knows who Mitzelplick is, but
Right, yeah.
but we'll see,
But at the same time too, like that's the thing is that he has direct influence and experience with the MonsterVerse, which is one of WB's biggest franchises, with the Lego movies, which was one. I don't know why they haven't put a new one out in a while, but the Lego movies, which were a great franchise for WB, I own and love them all. And the Sherlock Holmes, which both movies did well. Both movies were good. They weren't my favorite thing, but so like that's good. There were some flops in there too. Like whenever you're listing them, but there's always gonna be, if you got 55 movies under your belt and he looks fairly young, there's gonna be like it's just the way.
To me, I think that the guy knows how to put out content that's to appeal major like general audiences. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing, because I don't want somebody that's going to come in and it's just going to be like Red Hood, blah blah blah, or just some weird like B team unknown thing that maybe even fans love, but comic book nerds might like it, but the general public isn't aware of what the hell's going on. You need somebody that's going to come in and go big mainstream with all of the main characters, and so we get all. Of course, Superman. Come on, dude! Like, let's do something with Superman and get all of the main characters utilized. Then you pull in the other guys. So we'll see.
B-teamers,
yeah.
Well, and like you got to do a balancing act, because the fans are your automatic income. But that's the thing, if you don't make it for mainstream, so that's why like he's if he's not, maybe he is a DC super fan. Probably not, but if he's not, he brings in the people who are. He brings in his what's the Lucas guy's name for Star Wars? The glue.
Filoni? Dave
Filoni.
Filoni
Brings it.
Yeah,
he finds a DC Filoni, and he gets him in there. Yeah.
That's exactly what you need. You need a Filoni who's a super nerd that loves the content, and then you need somebody that's like, look, I want this on cups at Church's Chicken. I want a Superman. Remember being a kid and going to, I don't know if you remember this, but at Church's Chicken, Church's Fried Chicken. I don't know if they are everywhere or not, but they got them in Texas, and you could buy a shirt that was a black T-shirt with the sleeve, had no sleeves. It had the way that this collar,
crew neck.
Yeah, but on the thing, it was those muscle shirts from the 80s.
Yeah.
And printed on the shirt was a Russian flag boxing glove and an American flag boxing glove, and they were punching each other, and there was an explosion in the background. It was the coolest shirt I ever got. I got it at Church's, and then I got a Burger King, and then I would get other like cool, like you know what I mean? Like you always had cool.
Yeah,
Nuclear Man is on is on your Coke cup and stuff like that. And it was like, as a kid, it was like everywhere you went, and we see that a lot with Star Wars. It's everywhere, you know what I mean?
Right.
But they need to need to make to make Superman everywhere again.
DC, Superman, Batman, they should be as big of an IP as Star Wars. They're not right now for some reason, but they should be. Like, Jedi Master, thank you for saying hi.
What up,
we love you, man. Go enjoy your anniversary. Quit talking to us. Go get that wifey.
What are you doing?
And go, yeah.
What are you doing, dude?
Tonight is your night, bro.
I'm looking this shirt up because it's awesome.
Bobby says, over here it was Burger King for Star Wars glasses. And I remember I got the Batman glasses from McDonald's when they had the...
Oh, I found it.
Oh, the revelation, the feeling. I found it.
Holy crap.
They had the
Yes.
Batman burger, and all it was 3 patties on a McRib, the McRib long sandwich, and I was like, I have to eat the Batman burger,
Look at that shirt.
dude.
Badass. With an explosion.
Yeah, that's what ended the Cold War. Thank you, Church's Chicken.
That's right. And that was that was probably in that was in like what 1985. So that
Yeah.
shirt was probably $3 at
Yeah, exactly.
$3.99 at Church's Chicken. So good.
Yeah, or a buck if you buy a meal.
All right, well let's move on. But that's cool. Let's see. Hopefully we have some great things coming for DC.
Yes.
You know, the good news to me is they're making power moves. There's not a bunch of executives all falling over each other, cutting each other off at the ankles. It's one big guy, David Zaslav, at the top, and he's making power moves. And if you're going to do something like shelf a movie and crush people's hopes and dreams for the greater good, at least you're making moves. You know what I mean? And there you go. Yeah. Well, speaking of which, I heard they were having screenings for the employees or for the people that worked on the movie.
Mhm.
It was like a funeral viewing for them to watch the thing. And then they have to destroy all of the film and all the data, like erase everything. So they're like, these people are having a fucking hard time, man. I really feel bad for them. That there was one of the cast members wrote this long open letter on like Twitter begging, please don't do this and all that. But I was like,
it's already done, man. Tax time is over.
It's I just feel so terrible. And I get it.
I do too, but yeah.
It's a business move, but yeah, holy cow.
And to be fair, not to be mean, although it's going to sound that way, like, honestly, I didn't see the Batgirl movie, obviously, but from the way it sounded and stuff like that, this might be more press for those people than it would have gotten in general. If it was going to be dumped on HBO Max and it was not that good, like, honestly, like, they might get more press out of this, the actors and actresses and stuff like that, and than if it were just dumped on HBO Max and then forgotten.
Yeah. And it happens all the time. They did Game of Thrones did I was just listening to somebody talk about that today where they did a Game of Thrones spinoff and they did a pilot. Of course, there's a pilot, but still. But there's a whole bunch of casting and building sets and doing all kinds of stuff. And then at the end, they're like, this isn't good enough, and HBO scrapped it. You know what I mean? And it was
yeah.
I think Naomi Watts was involved too. Like it was like big time. But when I just heard that, I was like, dude, I want to say I sounded like Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I was about to say you turned into Scooby Doo.
Yeah. Like, I want to see that show, Scoob.
Crit will watch.
No, but I was like, holy crap. I love Naomi Watts. She's in King Kong and everything else in the world. I love her, and I love Game of Thrones stuff, which we'll be talking about House of the Dragon here in a minute. But I was like, I want to see that thing, and they trashed it. It's gone. But
it's like that Lucas.
It's just that's business. They don't want to put something out that's crappy. So, and I imagine if they could get their money back, they would have done that too.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So
you were about
one
to say
for me? No, one for me. One for Batgirl.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move forward. What were we gonna do? Oh yeah. Marvel news. Oh yeah. I just like watching her fall.
It's surprising that there's Marvel news this week. That's kind of weird, isn't it?
WandaVision director Matt Shakman in talks to helm the Fantastic Four movie. It's not in the bag yet, but exclusive. After playing a big part in helping launch Marvel Studios' limited series WandaVision, Matt Shakman may be ready to help launch one of the studio's prize movie properties. Sources tell Deadline that Shakman is in early talks to direct Marvel's new Fantastic Four pick. I think this is great. I liked WandaVision, and I listened to a interview with this guy, and he was really cool. So I think that's really cool. Um, I like who you gonna get to do
Yeah.
Fantastic Four? It's tough. There's a lot of different names out there, and I think somebody that has worked closely with Marvel already and already
Mhm.
knows all how the whole game is played over there is who you should have. And when you get people like the like other people that have been made famous as directors, like the Russo brothers, things like
Mhm.
that hadn't done a bunch of big things. The funny thing about this guy is that he doesn't have any feature films under his belt. It's just TV stuff.
Did
So
had the Russos? I can't remember. I
I think
know.
they did. I think they did done a little bit of stuff, but they weren't like a. It's not like they
Yeah,
were a
nothing.
household name
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Okay.
And but Kevin Feige is really good at spotting potential in directors and choosing them, and then
Mhm.
after you've done
Building them
a
up.
Marvel movie or two, then you're an everyday name director name. Yeah, I made a $785 million movie.
Yeah.
Now you can do whatever the hell you want. Um, but it's cool, and they've got the whole. They've got execs and stuff that become part of these movies that help see them through and all that, and make sure that they all fit together and that they're done right and stuff. So it's not like this director's going to just take their money and then go off and make a movie, do whatever the hell he wants. Like Feige, everybody's fucking babysitting over at Marvel. They're very
Yeah. Oh
involved.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, and I like. I think it's a pretty good pick too because for WandaVision to make that series um, as unique or as eccentric or however you want to say it, weird to some parts, you know, as it was, but work and not work and be silly. Like that's almost what the Fantastic Four needs to a degree. I'm not saying this guy is the best director in the world or the perfect director, but I'm just saying with a Fantastic Four movie, a lot of it is a silly family dynamic. Now, if you watch the Fox films, they took that a little too far, in some ways, but it's a family dynamic with the Fantastic Four. That's why they're, Marvel's first family. They're truly a family, and I could see him thinking of WandaVision pulling that off. Obviously, the whole point of WandaVision was family. The whole point of Wanda's story arc was family, and he can play it not silly, but loose or whatever, and still be able to keep it grounded in what's important. So I think just off of um, WandaVision itself, this could be a good pick. And like you were saying, we know that Marvel has talent pulling guys up from TV because it's basically serialized work that they're going to be doing. So
yeah, it's just like a giant TV show.
right,
It
yeah,
just got 2-hour episodes. Yeah. Oh, I think it's cool. I'm pretty jazzed for that guy. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I loved
right.
that's I know a lot of people liked the intro episodes where it was
Mhm.
looked like another TV show. Um I liked when they got let's get through the BS and get to business, and like I like the second half of WandaVision a lot more. Although I appreciated what they did, but that also shows that this dude is able to pull off a lot of different flavors. You know what I mean?
Right. That's
If
a
you could
better way
pull
of
up,
saying it. Yeah.
yeah, if you could do an I Love Lucy thing, and then you could turn around and do a Malcolm in the Middle, and then turn around and do something else, like that's pretty cool. So
And
if
that's it.
if I'm not mistaking him, I'd have to pull up his IMDb, and I don't feel like doing it. But I think he used to be an actor too when he was young, and like has been on sets since he was a kid. I think he was on
Okay.
growing. He worked on Growing Pains as a child
Okay.
actor, and if that's the case, I remember because like the Richard Stabone
Mhm.
character in Growing Pains that
Boner.
was yeah Boner, and that's part of the reason they put Ralph Boner in WandaVision was a nod to Growing Pains. It was
So he was Boner.
he wasn't Boner, but he was
Oh.
on the
Oh.
show,
Okay.
and it was just kind of a fun Easter egg, kind of a nod,
That's
and he
cool.
had worked on Growing Pains. So um,
That's cool.
I'm pretty sure this is him. That like it's just one of the nuggets that's in the back. I'd have to sit here and IMDb this guy, but I'm not gonna do it. But
We'll wait till
anyway,
it's for sure till we do that. Like,
yeah,
it's not even for sure yet.
yeah. I don't want to find out that it's not because it'll ruin
No,
my
I agree.
story. It'll ruin my story. Yeah. So, but anyway, no. But my point is somebody that's worked in television. Not just as an adult, but since they were a toddler, like that's all you know. Like he's been on sets since he was a kid.
Right.
Like that means you know what the hell you're doing. Like anybody who's done anything their entire life knows what the hell they're doing. So yeah, so that's good news, and hopefully that will work out. Let's see what else we got. We got other fun stuff. Halloween Ends to debut simultaneously in theaters and on Peacock. To me, that means that this movie's going to suck.
No.
I think so. I think it's going to suck ass because otherwise they would be trying to make money in theaters. It's just my theory. I don't know. But and just to give you guys the picture here. But Jamie Lee Curtis. But yeah, it says real quick, and then I'll toss the baton over to you. But Laurie Strode's final battle against her seemingly immortal nemesis, Michael Myers, will transpire in theaters and on a streaming service near you. Universal Pictures has announced Halloween Ends. The next sequel in the long-running slasher series will land on Peacock on the same day it arrives to the big screen. The movie is scheduled to premiere on October 14th. I don't know why you would do that. Like you're just throwing money away. Why would you do that?
Because Peacock. So Peacock's failing. It's not doing well. Okay. Because they started with a free tier and then a no commercial tier, and then a movies in theaters tier. The only reason I got Peacock was to watch Halloween Ends at home. Like that's why I got Peacock, and then I canceled it, and I got it back recently for something we were doing, and I haven't canceled it yet, and I was literally like gonna cancel it again, and then and I looked on it, and earlier articles were saying, Halloween looks like Halloween Ends is going to be at theaters only. So they were at least thinking about it. And then I was like, well, I'm going to cancel Peacock then. Like Peacock is struggling bad. And they're doing this because they saw the upsurgence from subscriptions to watch Halloween. Now they've had other like in theaters and on Peacock at the same time movies, but it didn't hold up as well. And they were basically like, if they don't do something, they're going to have to throw on the top, because that's the thing. Netflix, think about companies like Netflix and Disney Plus. They had to add an ad-free tier, like in Peacock, even with ad-free tiers and another tier and an in theaters now tier,
right,
it's still like not doing that well. So Universal's like, we're going to make money from it, in the theaters regardless. And that's the thing. I am super excited about this. I still want to see it in theaters, though. I might go see it in theaters and watch it at home.
Do you have to pay Peacock do you have to like order it? Like, okay, you can watch it for $9.99 on Peacock, or it's free. It's free streaming.
But you have to be in the, like I said, there's a free tier. Like you can watch Peacock free with ads, certain shows, and then there's another tier where you get no ads and more shows. But then you have to be in there's like a third tier where you can get in theaters now stuff. And so you don't have to pay for the specific movie, but if it's in theaters now,
but you have to be you have to be a VIP tier.
And it's not crazy. I think it's like $10. So it's not crazy, but
they're about to get Peacock is about to get all of the NBC content. The NBC content, a lot of it's been on Hulu for a long time, but all of these shows that are on Hulu that are because NBC owns a portion of Hulu,
right?
But they own all of Peacock, and so but pretty soon their stuff is now going to be on Peacock. So all the people that like all the NBC shows, they will be going to Peacock for that now. So that's that might help them a little bit.
It will. I mean, it will, but they got to have like a stopgap somewhere. They got to have, and Halloween Kills or ends is like it's just perfect for it, and like because yeah, Bobby's got it for WWE. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
you were into WWE, Bobby. We gotta
Yeah, now we're going to start
getting on
talking.
that.
We're going to
Yeah,
start covering wrestling.
we'll have
Wrestling.
stories every week, baby.
Yeah, Curtis used to be a wrestler.
Yep,
Like he's trained. He knows how to take a fall.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Uh yes, sir. When I was younger, I thought Fantastic Four and X-Men were the same people. Nope, they're not. They're not. That was like 20 years ago.
Well, and Bobby makes my point, like most people do, better than I said it. When we were talking about Batgirl, she says, "This way, it's the greatest movie that never was," as opposed to just people watching it being like, it was okay." Like now it helps those people out. Great, well said, Bobby. Thank you.
Well, in other news, we'll see how that goes. I'm telling you, if you're gonna watch Halloween, go see it in the theater. You gotta see it in the theater, and then you watch it on repeat at home too. Yeah.
Especially after Halloween Kills was so much fun. I mean, some people have issues with it, but I just thought it was such a blast. Like, I'm gonna go see the new one in theaters, like, and then probably rewatch it on Peacock. Like, so, it's just great. I think that's great news.
Yes, sir. And speaking of Hulu news, boom, Hellraiser's first glimpse of Jamie Clayton as Pinhead in Hulu's up and coming reboot. What? That's Pinhead? That's weird. I'll even hit this thing, and they showed this little thing, show this little video. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we won't. I think
all the pirates out there are like, that's great.
Rated R. Yeah, we're done with that. But that's exciting, and they're supposed to put that on Hulu, and that's the same people that put out Prey.
Right.
What are your thoughts? Are you excited at all for Hellraiser?
Yeah, I'm super excited. Go ahead.
Do we think that now Hulu has an HBO pedigree sort of thing? Like, you know what I mean? Now they are top shelf. They are no longer a well liquor. They are top shelf. They are the patron of movie making now that they did Prey, or did they slip on a banana peel and put out a good thing on accident?
Well, we'll see, but at the same time, like, so it's funny because Hulu apparently, I think because I read an article a while back too saying that Hulu was struggling, and I was like, well, Hulu's got everything. I don't understand that, but that I think it was saying like basically what you had said, that companies are going to be pulling their stuff. All the Fox stuff is eventually going to come to Disney Plus. All of the NBC stuff's going to go to Peacock. So it's not like they're gonna lose it, and so they have to work on their own content. And with Prey, they knocked it out of the park. I think everyone agrees that.
Yeah.
And with this new Hellraiser thing, it's interesting. I've been excited for this for a while. It was originally an HBO property. I don't know what happened there. I tried looking it up, and
Weird.
It was HBO Max was going to put it out, but this is like 2 years ago, and at the time, I still don't know, because I'm sure people are going to have issues with Pinhead being a woman. Like some people are going to freak out. But honestly, like there's been several Cenobite females. Like it's not a thing. It's not a gender thing at all. And Clive Barker was, at least in the beginning, very involved in this. I don't know if he, once whatever changeover happened, if he still was. I hope so. But he was very involved, and he was very excited about it. And I'm very excited about it. Hulu, I think, can do a lot with the movies they're putting out. And honestly, shows like Solar Opposites and stuff like that from the makers of Rick and Morty, they've been putting out some good original content, and that's what they need, because like you were saying, they're gonna pull all their stuff out sooner or later. Contracts will expire.
What do we got over here? Yes, I watched that show. I wanted WrestleMania, but leaving work, it's canceled. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for that show. Pinhead. I remember Pinhead as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
being freaked out by that, and Phantasm. That's another one.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good. Yeah, I remember being freaked out by that too as a kid. I think.
Boy.
Yeah, it's scary. I'm gonna have nightmares. Let's change the subject.
And we
Oh,
didn't say hi to Chris Clink earlier. We missed you, man. Sorry.
Chris was in
Welcome,
here.
Clink. Yeah. Hey, dudes.
Hey, what's up, dude? Didn't see. I'm gonna put that on the screen. That's permanently. Oh, hey, dudes. Man, you missed it, Chris. I was talking about the Rocky IV shirt that has the American and the glove punching, and there's an explosion. The coolest shirt ever, sleeveless. It's great choice. So let's talk about. Oh yeah, well, I saw this story and it was kind of funny. Speaking of wrestling, article, boom, yeah. So embarrassing. Dwayne Johnson facing major fan backlash. There's a lot of people. He keeps saying stuff like the hierarchy of power in the DC universe has changed, and stuff. And people are like, yeah, and he's posting stuff like that. And then people are like, dude, this is cringe. Quote,
yeah.
like the hierarchy
Yeah.
of power in the DC universe has changed. And then people are like, what the hell is a hierarchy of power in the first place? Another user said Rock has taken too much from his WWE days. It's so funny that The Rock just sees DC like pro wrestling and he's booking himself as the top card. It's so I personally hate to see that the fans are starting to turn on him. But his aggressive basically trash talk of what wrestlers do, that works for wrestling.
Right.
But he's like, it's so funny, The Rock, yeah, blah blah blah. This is so embarrassing. And it's sad to me because I'm like, dude, he was actually killing it. You know what I mean? He was actually doing it just right, but now he's getting a little bit too wrestler talky, and I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up.
And so this comes from whenever he was in Fast and Furious, he would have Twitter beef with
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, yes.
Yeah.
And they would go back and forth, and most people were like, that's wrestling crap. Like, or we knew it wasn't like
it was
if
fake.
you're a wrestling fan, yeah, it was fake.
Yeah.
And and then maybe sometimes somebody went too far and something like that. Like, but it would be straight up on the regular news, sometimes, and it's like, this is beef. They're just throwing beef. Like, so he's bringing that to DC. Fast and Furious fans, probably a lot of them are wrestling fans. I'm a comic book fan and a wrestling fan, but he doesn't really realize all the other comic book fans out there who are like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into wrestling.
I see what you're doing. I know that's all you know how to do. You're just doing what you know, but that's not. No, this isn't the same thing.
Yeah, no, man, it's not.
Yeah.
We don't need beef here. Like, we're good. Like, just make a movie and shut up.
Yeah, the hierarchy is about to change. Can you smell
And
what The Rock is cooking? It's Black Adams. It's cooking Black Adams. Man, it sucks because I really like The Rock. But it's like,
yeah,
it's a little corny. And if you were getting fatigued enough from that, then you sent me this, and I'm like, oh boy,
exactly. Oh
boy. Yeah, Dwayne Johnson will replace Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean film, reports say. What? A few actors have reached the level of success, as blah, blah, blah. Johnson, who got his full-length feature film in Universal's The Mummy Returns, blah, 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 Scorpion King. Now it seems the actor may be eyed for another role for Disney. Is Dwayne heading the new Pirates of the Caribbean? What? I don't know about that. No. In fact, I'm fucking saying no. No! We're not.
So apparently, according to the article, he's going to play a different character.
No,
he's not playing.
He's playing Barbie. Dwayne Dwayne the Rock Johnson to play Barbie.
Well, he's not playing Barbie in the most recent Barbie film, but if that Barbie actor screws up, Dwayne the Rock Johnson's taking over because he's planned to be in rumored to be planned to be in the next Pirates, and at the same time he's supposedly taking over for Will Smith as the genie in Aladdin 2. So if you screw up, The Rock is taking your role.
Is coming for you. Yeah.
Rock and roll, Rock's taking your role.
Man, that hat's doing some weird stuff, Curtis.
Weird, wild stuff. It's got green lines on it. That's probably what it is.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do green on YouTube.
It's not. I mean, they're barely noticeable until they freaking are. Apparently,
they're green. That's why I was like, why is his forehead disappearing? But your hair looks beautiful. Your hair looks great, dude.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like, if the Rock's not going to be Jack Sparrow, though, he's going to be a different guy. Okay.
It's going to be, it's a different character. And it's probably, I think the last one was on Stranger Tides, which was in the Pacific. I would imagine they're making it to be like a Hawaiian type thing, and he's a Hawaiian type pirate or something.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's true. That's what I imagine, based on the last film and based on The Rock.
And then he's like, "Can you smell what the genie's cooking?"
Yeah.
The hierarchy.
What am I cooking?
The hierarchy of genies is about to change. Like, no, dude, you don't. Stop it, Rock. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Now that we talk smack on The Rock, I wouldn't do that in his face. No, I love The Rock. I think he's awesome. I just want him to tone it down so that he doesn't screw up Black Adam because.
Yeah, I mean, just like it. But I think that's that's the path he knows to success. It has worked phenomenally well so far, and it's just like you got a different crowd here, man. Like, just read the room. Like,
oh boy.
And Bobby says the only thing he has going is going to have to do is just smile, and everybody will forgive him, and that's kind of true too.
That is true. That is true. He's
just gonna be like, "I'm sorry." Ding.
Yeah, he's like, "I can talk smack on social media." No, dude, calm it down.
So, and we know Henry Cavill is his wife, or his wife is Henry Cavill's agent as well. So he's probably trying to set up a Twitter war, because apparently Cavill filmed some new scenes. We don't know what, but I was reading something that said he filmed some new scenes at WB, and so they might actually have a Cavill appearance in the Black Adam or something. I don't know. Whatever, something might be going on, and he's already starting the Twitter beef, like, "What's up, Cavill? Blah, blah, blah.
The hierarchy of power is about to change in a cage match with Henry Cavill." Wait, what?
Yeah.
Come on, dude. What are you doing? Okay. Speaking of crazy shenanigans, we had, this is interesting, and we're going to be talking about She-Hulk here in just a second. But I thought this was really fun. We had Jamila Jamil, who plays Titania, excuse me. She went around L.A. graffitiing. I think that's hilarious. They had, in real life, went over and spray painting over the ads for She-Hulk. She-Hulk has been really killing it with the marketing and putting up hotlines like, "Hey, are you a superhero or mutant that has been injustice? Call this hotline."
Yeah, they've been killing it with the marketing. I mean, and this is why She-Hulk has been doing well, and why I thought it would do well. The beauty of the comic is that it brings comics down to a real world level, like especially with like law stuff, and we'll talk about the show in a second, but also what they're doing that's doing so well is that they're bringing some of the comic book world out into the real world too, with stuff like that. Like they're it's so they're mixing it and making it this just beautiful fun thing, man. And Like more power to him. Like this is what it's supposed to be like, in my opinion.
I agree with you. Let's just do that now. Let's get into She-Hulk talk time. Boom,
Oh yeah.
boom. What did you think? What did you think of this episode?
I thought it was very good. However, with both episodes, they seemed short. Like they say they're 45 minutes, but with the 10-minute Disney time, they're about 30 minutes. And every time with both episodes, me and wifey are like, "It's over. It's already over."
God, yeah.
Um, like, but I thought it was very good. And yeah, what did you think?
I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was good. I liked seeing her family. I liked seeing Larry
Yeah.
Appleton
Mhm.
be her dad from Perfect
Mhm.
Strangers.
Yeah.
Cousin Larry, remember
Oh,
him? That's
that's
who
right.
that
That's
was. Larry
right. Yeah.
Appleton. I would love it if they did a Bronson Pinchot uh,
Cameo.
cameo somewhere in there, like or hide him in there somewhere. Um, it was fun, man, and got her going to work. She gets, spoiler alert, she gets fired, and then ends up doing a bunch of job interviews, and then she ends up getting hired at the firm that she was against because
Hmm.
she's a Hulk, and they want to do basically superhuman division, and they want her to head the division, and so she's a little bit butthurt that she's getting this job because she's a Hulk. She would rather it be because she's a good lawyer, but and they know she's a good lawyer because they told her like, "Hey, you beat
Yeah.
it, you
You
beat
beat
it,
it. Yeah.
you beat us." So we had to get it thrown out. You beat us, so you're a good lawyer, but we also need it's marketing. They need a face of a Hulk to be
Hmm.
this person. So I thought it was interesting. And then she has to go and defend Abomination. You know what I mean? Like which is crazy.
And I thought that was probably one of the best scenes of the show because when she's going to determine if she's going to defend Abomination, um, she walks in, she does the whole thing, but and he's like, the government pumped me full of this stuff, and she's like, wait, the government did this to you? And the way he explains it, because you watch the Incredible Hulk movie, and it's like, yeah, beat the hell out of Abomination, blah blah blah. But you don't think about it from this guy's point of view. He was like, yeah, I thought I was going to be a hero. I thought I was going to be Captain America. The Hulk was the bad guy we had to stop. At that time, and they pumped me full of this stuff, and yeah, I wrecked half of Harlem, but I didn't I was on these government drugs, like I didn't know what was, and it's like,
It's a good
dude, that guy
perspective.
got screwed over. Like, yeah, because Hulk, the whole military, the whole U.S. government was like, we got to stop the Hulk, because of Thunderbolt Ross. I mean, it was a great perspective changer. Yeah. And again, the comics do that very well, and I'm glad that the show is doing that very well.
Yeah, and now he's sitting in a cell, and you're like, hey, wait
Yeah.
a minute, he totally got screwed.
And, and he says, I'm sitting here, and the Hulk's a hero for saving the world. He's like, what, where's the justice in that? You know,
Yeah, and it's true. And you think of like
yeah,
Sokovia and
yeah.
Sokovia and all that stuff. It's like, wow, that's a good point there. I thought it was interesting too. They talk about his set. He keeps saying I've got 7 friends that are
Hmm.
all pitching in. I want to go to this basically a compound or something and go live with my
Yeah.
seven soulmates and stuff. And you think that's going to be Thunderbolts?
Yeah, see, I was wondering about that because he says, he keeps talking about his 7 friends, and at first it's like, okay, he's got some weird, uh, pen pals or something like that. Uh, but then he says at one point, he says, well, they've got this, 100-acre ranch for me to live on. They bought me, and it's like, what? What is, huh? Like, who
Yeah.
has, 7 people, to buy this, giant ranch for you to live on because you're an abomination. And like that's the thing. We kind of already figured that Abomination was going to be part of the Thunderbolts because like their substitute Hulk, and like that leads us to believe more. And then again, we don't know what they're going to do with Thunderbolt Ross now that the actor has died, R.I.P. But like it, Thunderbolt Ross was the one that gave him his powers, so it might have been set up by Thunderbolt Ross beforehand, and then he passes away in the MCU or whatever it is. But like, um, I think that's it's going down that road. I think you're right.
Yeah, wasn't he? was it? I saw some weird stuff where like Abomination was going to be like some kind of guru too, like some kind of
I did see that.
yeah,
Yeah, like
and it was like what did he say?
Abamanaste or
Yeah,
something like that,
Abominaste. There
or
we go.
something.
Yeah, there's the photo right here. What I was talking about, right over here in the corner. If you could see that over there,
Yeah.
and it's like make your go a reality, and then it's like achieve everything. Abamaste. So he's gonna
Abamaste. Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna get out of there and then end up being some kind of weird motivational speaker, which is super weird. That's that's a weird angle for that character, which is interesting. I don't know. How'd you like two things? First off, everyone's talking about on the screen when she's looking for jobs and this and that weird jobs. There's an article that says man with claws, with metal claws, gets in a bar fight.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, that's they're talking about Wolverine.
Right.
Yeah, which is cool. Which is a fun little Easter egg to drop in that.
And so and it makes sense. And I don't think he's going to premiere in She-Hulk, but whatever it is that they're doing with the Hulk after this, it would make sense if he premiered in whatever, like if they give a World War Hulk a show, or if they make it a movie, or whatever they do. But Wolverine premiered in the Hulk. That was his first appearance was in the Hulk.
Yeah.
He was a Hulk, well, not necessarily villain, but and it would make sense for his first appearance to be in the Hulk, even if it's just a cameo kind of one-off thing.
You think they could do a excuse the yawn, guys. Do you think they could do a cameo before? Like, I wonder if the licensing is open to do that. Like, if I thought I heard something about like them not being able to do X-Men things until 2025, but I don't know if that's a fact or if that was.
I don't know.
There was a article recently about that, and I don't know if it's true or not. But if it is true, I wonder if they would just call him Weapon X, not even call him Wolverine. You know, and you could have him like with the Wendigo and the first appearance of was Wendigo.
With Wendigo. Yep.
Yeah, and so you can have him show up out there or something, which would be super cool. I don't know.
I mean, you could have him using a fake name, like I'm Billy O'Malley, and then it's not, but he's like underground or something like that. Like they can make it work, I'm sure. But
isn't his name James something?
His actual name?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't read Origins in forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's everybody knows him as Logan, of course. But yeah.
So where the hell is Hulk going? I told you wait till after that phone call, Curtis. You're gonna want to call me.
And so Hulk is on the Sicarian Courier, and he's going back to Sakaar. And I think that's what I mean. I think they're gonna set up World War Hulk here. I think that this is where they're going with it, and it might be an under the radar thing. I was thinking kind of two things. So that he goes back to help Sakaar potentially, and with MCU, I could see them because somebody has to ruin his life. To be fair, and spoiler alert, in World War Hulk, they blow up his ship, which destroys his family and stuff like that. The Illuminati does. So there are a couple things. I was thinking that at the end of Shang-Chi, the people that are there, who's a War Machine, Captain Marvel, Wong, and of course Bruce Banner is one of them, are like the early version of the Illuminati in the MCU. And maybe he gets off world, goes a little crazy, and they're like, we don't need him coming back, and they do something to him. Or something happens on Sakaar and World War Hulk, because honestly, Hulk would destroy so much of the world or Earth. Maybe it happens on Sakaar. Maybe he becomes the Conqueror Hulk on Sakaar and just like takes over after some point. and our Avengers, whatever version that is, has to go to save him there, or stop him there.
That's interesting. Yeah, he's not going to destroy Earth. It's like our people have to go stop him over there. I wondered about like maybe what's his wife's name? Starts with
Ciela or
yeah. What if that's somebody he knew while he was a gladiator or something, and they were calling for his help because some stuff was going down.
Oh wow.
Because I know in the comics her father, it wasn't her father, but it was a leader that she worked for, and then she turned on him and joined the Hulk. Maybe this guy is doing some bad stuff, and so she calls the Hulk for help. Like maybe she knows the Hulk. The Hulk goes to help her, and then they could fall in love or get closer or whatever, and then have a kid.
That would make damn good sense.
Yeah, and then she gets killed, and then he freaks out. But he's on a Sakaar. That's what I was thinking. He's on one of their ships. He's not like on a human, like Earth ship that could have a bomb in it. So it would have to be like maybe somebody goes to stop him from wrecking shop, and then accidentally kills her or something.
Yeah, I'm sure they've already got it. Hopefully planned out, and they've got a way figured out. But it's like trying to figure out how they're going to do that. It could be again. I still think with what's going on with Kang and the multiverse and stuff like that, it could be to where he goes through a wormhole and slips into this world where it was our it was the whatever it is 818 or from WandaVision. Their Illuminati does that to him, and all of this plays out in some multiverse, and then he gets snapped back. So we get to see World War Hulk actually happen. But it doesn't affect our MCU.
That's interesting. Yeah, he ends up in their universe, falls in love in their universe, and then they have to kick him out of theirs just to get it safe, to be safe, and then now he's pissed off at our universe.
And that's the thing. What's cool too is Sakaar has those wormholes everywhere. It's got
really?
Remember from Ragnarok, the Devil's Anus was the big one, but there's wormholes where the junk's falling through everywhere. So maybe he goes through the wrong one and ends up in the wrong universe. Like they've got doors open for it easily, and that could be how Scar gets back to our universe. His son of Hulk, Scar, gets back to our universe. He jumps through the right one, whereas our Hulk goes through the wrong one, and all kind of stuff they could do easy. But I don't know. Like I'm still.
What the hell are they gonna do?
Yeah, I'm still not sure about it yet.
Well, I'm excited. I know we're gonna get. I don't think we're gonna see much of Mark Ruffalo for the rest of the show. I think now that he's gone, maybe there'll be a post-credit scene that kind of on the last show or something. But the good thing, the good thing about this show is that yes, they are short episodes, but at least there's 9 of them. You know what I mean? So I do like that part of it, but I do wish, I would have liked 10 more minutes of that 10 more minutes on each episode. Like cut one episode down and add to all the others.
Right.
Or I heard somebody say this too. If they had released the first 2 episodes, it would have been like, cool, we got the origin.
Right.
Now we have the setup of what your family and work life is going to be. Now that's out of the way. That's a good world builder. And now we now we're just having a bunch of short episodes. It wouldn't feel so short, because you don't get the feeling of a sitcom that everything's already established and you already understand the universe and everything, and they can just show up and start the show, set up the problem, and then have the resolution, and the show's over in 30 minutes, and you're used to that. You know what I mean? But if they're doing all this world building, you better make the fucking show 45 minutes or something. Come on. What's wrong with you guys? We want more Hulk. We want more She-Hulk. Oh, yes.
And
I thought he blasted out of prison at the end. I don't think that was at the end. I think that was old footage That was just YouTube footage, like that was out, that had been out in the world. So he's in prison, like on good behavior, and she's over there visiting him, and now all of a sudden there's this leaked this footage that's out in the world.
That's the footage from Shang-Chi.
Yep, and it's
Some of it, yeah.
Wong busting
Yeah.
him out. So he's gonna be like, "What do you mean? I was here." And they're like, "Now we have this footage of you in a fight club."
Yeah.
How? I was here.
I don't know. So, Bobby, if you haven't seen Shang-Chi, there's a scene where Abomination is in a fight club fighting somebody. And so that was the footage that they took. So it had happened in the past, but you're right. They did show it at the end of the episode, but it's basically, it had just come out right when he was on parole that he had at some point, some way gotten out of prison and basically fought in a fight club.
Yes.
And we know Wong's coming into the show, so that I bet you he'll be in there next episode.
Yes, he probably. Yeah, because she's going to be working on this case, and then he's probably gonna show up to be like, "Look, I'm the one who broke Abomination out of jail." Blah 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 blah. Crazy, weird.
But that's people. But that's what's so silly too. Like. But I did help save the universe. So, I mean, like.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, and it's not like you can incarcerate Wong.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do? See you later. Yeah, it's hilarious. Well, we'll see what happens. I think you're right. I think we're going to see Wong next episode, and it'll be interesting. And then you're like, okay, you're gonna have to defend this guy. So now she's really scratching her head after seeing the end footage. So what do we got next week? We'll have Scar and Wolverine and Wong will all be in the show.
Totes.
Totally
Guaranteed.
Awesome. Well, let's move on a little. What did you think of House of the Dragon? I got a little bum 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 bum. That's not She-Hulk. Get that out of here. Bum 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 bum. Curtis, what did you think of this show? What did you like? House of the Dragon.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. Wifey and I did not finish Game of Thrones. I think we're halfway-ish, maybe not quite that far. So again, I wasn't super excited about this show, but it was very good. I will say episode 1 was very good. It started slow for a non-fan, but once it hit, it definitely hit. And the people so I've said in the past, the people that were Game of Thrones fans weren't excited for this show. They are now all on board. So
yes, the reason they weren't excited is because Game of Thrones is a lot of talking and a lot of information, and they had the books to pull all this information from. And the last season, they said, "Okay, we gotta end this thing with a bang. We don't have any books to pull from because George R.R. Martin hasn't finished it yet." And so they made all these. They made the last season as action packed and fun to watch as possible, and it was fun. But all the nerds, pretentious nerds, are like, "It sucked," and sorry, it wasn't. It was better than most TV. It just didn't have. It just wasn't quite the same as the other several seasons of Game of Thrones that you're used to. So they and every now and then you'd have a real talky episode, long drawn out talky episode, and once that happened, you knew the next week was going to be action packed and stuff. Well, they just made this entire final season action packed, and a lot of people turned their nose up at it, and then they just said, yeah, that like without source material, they just can't do it. And they got that attitude. And so then you got this show that's based on it's based on the history, and there's a Targaryen history book, but there's not a book that goes from like character to character and has their perspective like a lot of the Game of Thrones books. They have basically kind of a Targaryen history book, and this is kind of loosely based off of that. and so yeah, so people were just kind of like, whatever. Like this isn't going to be good. The last season,
Yeah,
the good days
totally.
of Game of Thrones are over, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Pow, bitches! We still got it." Like you like
They're
that?
like,
What do you think
"Ah!"
of this? Bah! Yeah, and yeah, and I love this. Check this out. Look at this here. Triggered House of Dragon criticized for lack of warning ahead of birthing scene in debut episode. We don't give participation trophies and we don't warn people about Game of Thrones. You're watching Game of Thrones in Westeros, shit happens, people die. That's how it goes. Welcome to Game of Thrones. It hasn't been that many years, but all of you junior high kids who are now in high school and want to be triggered about a scene in Game of Thrones.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's freaking Game of Thrones. That's the whole point. Do you even know what the Red Wedding is? Did you experience the Red Wedding, Curtis?
I did not. No.
Oh, just wait. You and wifey need to go back and finish Game of Thrones. Watch the Red Wedding. That's a shocker. They didn't warn us about the Red Wedding. What do you
Sounds like
think
a
of that?
fairy tale.
Yeah, come on. Triggered. Oh, come on. It's Game of Thrones. And if you can't handle that, you got no business watching this show. Go back and watch some Nickelodeon and get
Harry Potter's still out there.
Yeah, go
watch.
watch that. There's some gives me an ice cream headache when I hear somebody say that. That's why I watched the show, was to get triggered. I was like, oh my god, that's the whole point of Game of Thrones.
That's the thing though. Like certain scenes like that, or in general, the element of surprise is one of the things that makes them so powerful. Like, and so if you're like, well, trigger warning, bad stuff's gonna happen, it's like it doesn't work. Like
No.
like it, and like at the same time they're talking about this, and we're talking about an episode, spoiler alert, where a man gets stabbed up the ass and his penis is cut off. Like, there was no trigger warning for that. Like,
he was a rapist, but
yeah. Well, no, they just called him that. Remember, the guy was just walking around going, "He's a murderer, he's a rapist, he's a," he was just calling people.
I thought they were going and getting people. Yeah, it's on HBO Max, Bobby.
Yes.
I thought that they were going and getting people that they knew were criminals. And
he was just calling them out. If you look back, he's just calling, and that's why they were like, "Why did you go kill everybody?" And he was like, "It'll make them afraid of us." He was just straight up pointing at people. That's a rapist. That's a thief. That's a murderer. Like, and just anybody and everybody.
I didn't put together that he was making that up. I thought that those were actual criminals that were getting justice. And he's like, I serve hard justice, and if you don't like it, and you get triggered, you don't need to be here. Like,
yeah. I think anybody would have been fine, like if it were true. But yeah, he was just pulling people off the streets and was like playing Judge Dredd, baby. Like,
yeah. So it was good. The show is good. All the actors in this show are fantastic. There's a king, and
he's got back diabetes.
Yeah, he's got he needs an heir, and he's lost several kids along the way, and he's trying to produce a male heir, and it's a fight for the throne. Who's going to be the new king? Do they make the daughter the king? Does the brother end up the king? There's a lot of craziness in this show. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't want to spoil it. So if you're maybe going to go see it, go see it. But I just tell you, it's really good. If you enjoyed old Game of Thrones, you'll love this show, and I can already tell this show is going to be great. Like, I've only seen one episode, but it was a good one. And let's see here.
Well,
Matt Smith is great. The whole cast is fantastic. The dad was good. Like everybody in it. I'm excited. I want to see more. So.
Well, it's interesting to me how that the whole fight for the throne thing is I mean, it's a recurring theme because it's recurring in history. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But how they never have a show. Of course they wouldn't. But like, it's whenever on news radio, whenever Dave quits being the boss and they're trying to figure out who's going to be the new boss, and everybody's like, I don't want to be the boss. Being the boss sucks. And he's like, well, I don't want to be the boss. Like you should be the boss.
I don't want to be the boss.
Yeah, I got to tell everybody what to do. You got to work all the time. I don't want to do that. Like, I just want to like be a regular old worker bee again. Like, but yeah, um, it is good. You can, and what's good about it too is it's not just this. I'm not a big Game of Thrones super fan, so I'm not new to it because I've seen some of them, but at the same time, like you can see kind of where they're leading. They leave these little breadcrumbs that even I could pick up on that without like knowing the full story of Game of Thrones. So it's not like you're just going to be like left out in the cold. Like, well, okay, some kings and queens or whatever killed each other and all this stuff's going. I don't know what's happening. It's not like that at all. You can start the show without, in my opinion, ever seeing Game of Thrones.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and if you have seen Game of Thrones, all the names, there's a Stark in there. There's like, the Targaryens. There's all these different houses that you hear the names of that are in there, and it's interesting because this is 172 years before, so it's pretty crazy. Anyway, check it out, man. Check out Game of Thrones. New series, House of the Dragon. If you haven't checked that out yet, it's fun. It's on HBO Max, and I think that's just about all we got for today, because we got to get ready for the next show, which is going to be Versus, which is Crybaby versus Grease, which is going to be excited. Before we jump into that, guys, boom, guys, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button, and let's get rid of that. Yes, sir. Curtis, thank you for joining me. And
my pleasure, sir.
Hanging out today. Go do me a favor, guys. Check out Bakertown. That's Curtis's other YouTube channel where he does videos, and him and his son do some cool stuff, and there's some fun stuff on there. So check that out if you haven't yet, and subscribe. And we're gonna be back here in a little bit, about 8:50. It's 7:34. Probably about 30 or 45 minutes. We'll be back on here and doing Versus, where we do movie battles. So musical episode tonight should be exciting. We will see you. Yeah, we will see you guys soon. Thanks again. Hey, that's my thing. Just kidding.
You dirty.